So guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I guess the first thing is I have to apologise for the months of absence that I've had. I've been revising and preparing for my finals, which are all completed now. So hopefully you guys are going to find this video useful, and I've got a few more videos in the works. So in regards to work experience, I guess the first thing really that we need to talk about is the elephant in the room, and that's COVID-19. It's made it really difficult for you guys to get relevant exposure in clinical environments such as hospitals and GP practices. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about a variety of different things that you can try in order to negate that and make it easier for you to make a really effective application to medical school. So when I was doing the little background research that I normally do for most of my videos, I came across these statements. So this is the first statement, and this is a statement by the GMC. So if you guys don't know about the GMC is the General Medical Council. They provide the registration and they are the sort of licensing body within the UK for UK medical doctors. They make sure that we're providing care, efficiently, safely, effectively, and that we're all behaving ourselves, most importantly. The other thing is that they set the standards for UK medical schools in terms of their curriculum as well. So they set the outcomes, and they basically say to UK medical schools, listen guys, by the end of the 5 years, we want medical students to be proficient in clinical skills, which are these, and in addition, we want them to be effective communicators, and they want to have this level of medical knowledge. And it's up to the medical schools to make their own curriculum to meet those outcomes. So this is a really important document, and the reason why is because you have a little think about it in terms of, these are the core attributes and values that you need to demonstrate when you're invited to the interview. Things such as being honest, being able to work in a team, having insight into your own strengths and weaknesses. These are all really important factors to have in your own personality, because they allow you to basically work and be a really good doctor and also a good medical student. So basically they're giving the guidance to the UK medical schools to be like, when you invite these candidates to interview, these are the things that we believe they should possess in order to become medical students and also to become really good proficient doctors. So again, have a little read about this document. It takes about 5 minutes, if that, and just have a little think about, how could I demonstrate those skills to someone in the interview? How could I convince them that I am honest, or I do have insight into my own strengths and weaknesses? And again, by reflecting on it, you'll be able to come up with your own plan in order to how to sort of approach that topic. So the other document that I'm going to be talking about is a little bit more related to this video. Again, it's another document by the GMC, and what it does is it outlines a little bit of guidance about how to gain some relevant work experience in the current COVID-19 pandemic. So the first thing first is that this document and statement say that you guys should be keeping a reflection diary. So if a reflection diary is brand new to you, then please do have a little Google about reflection in medical care. There's some good articles by the BMJ. If I come across any that are free, I will leave them in a link in the description below. But reflection is basically something that you build upon as a medical student and you continue to do as a doctor. It's about looking back at your past experiences, gaining a little bit of insight and actually learning something from them, because in reality as a doctor you're constantly learning, you never stop, and that's the same for most healthcare professionals. So it's a really good skill to start to build upon early, and it's also something that you can use in your interview. So you can say, COVID's made it difficult for me to gain some relevant clinical exposure, but what I have been able to do is keep a reflection diary, because it's allowed me to build upon that skill, because I know it's vital. From all the reading that I've done about medical doctors in the UK, is that it's a vital skill to have, and it's something that we are constantly have to do in order to learn from the experiences that we encounter on a day-to-day basis, or something across those lines that's really catchy, really effective, and makes the examiner nod their head and go, yes, excellent. So in addition to keeping a reflection diary, again, with a reflection diary, just have a little look about things online, like, looking at news outlets and looking at the health section and reflecting on difficult topics and what you've learned about those topics and what you can reside from those topics. In addition to a reflection diary, there's also a few other things that you can try. Obviously you guys are limited in your ability to gain an insight into healthcare by not having a GP practice or a hospital placement, but I would emphasize that this is something that you guys do in medical school anyway. You do that throughout the 5 years that you're there, or the 6 years that you're there, or the 4 years that you're there, and there's plenty of that. So don't be in dismay about the fact that you haven't got that sort of work experience. The really, really important thing is, and again, if you guys read this document, is that you're gaining work experience in something that gives you insight into yourself, how you communicate with others, and also how care is provided. So you might be thinking, yeah, that's great, but what does that actually mean? Like, what sort of experiences would I actually gain or reach those outcomes? And the document outlines it, but I will tell you guys that there's a few things that you can try. Number one, charities are excellent. If you can get involved in any charity, then I recommend it 100%. It can be things such as St. John's Ambulance, it can be things such as Macmillan or Citizens Advice Bureau, etc, etc, etc. Something where you're dealing with individuals in a difficult situation or in difficult circumstances, and in addition working in a team is vital. And those if you manage to secure that sort of level of work experience, you provide a good foundation in which to build upon when you go into medical school, and you can take those experiences with you when you start practicing as a doctor. So definitely, if you can get any sort of work experience for a charity, then I 100% recommend it. I did some time for Macmillan, St. John's Ambulance, and also another mental health charity called Nightline. And again, those charities were great, so I 100% recommend that. In addition, you don't have to always go for a charity. Again, you can get insight about yourself, how you communicate with others, and also how care is provided by getting involved in some local community projects. So for example, if you're religious and you go to a church, temple, mosque, etc., then seeing if there's any community groups, and that could be something as simple as cooking for people in need or vulnerable members of the community and delivering those meals to them, obviously in a COVID safe manner. And things like that. It's all about the provision of care, and obviously interacting in that team that you will be part of, and interacting with those individuals that really, really do need that care and would really appreciate that support. So that's something else that you can look at. And again, there's a variety of different things as well. If you're not particularly religious, then you can look at community support groups and community centres, and there's loads of them. So definitely reach out to those kinds of places and see what's on offer. So overall, those are just a few suggestions about what kind of work experience you can do. Again, reflection diary is really, really easy. It might be a bit difficult to work for a charity at the moment, and recruitment's a bit of an issue due to COVID-19, but definitely try. Community centres and, local religious centres are fantastic, and they can provide some really, really good opportunities. I think the only thing I would say is that I will leave a link to 2 really, really helpful resources. In fact, actually 3 really, really helpful resources. So because you guys can't get that sort of clinical exposure, the University of Brighton Medical School have made a series, I think where they film consultations, and you guys can get that relevant exposure that you would have otherwise got had you got that hospital placement. And I'll leave a link to that in the description, so you guys can have a little watch of those videos. It's really, really helpful. In addition, there's one by the Royal College of GPs where you can look at GP consults, so look at GPs and how they deal with patients, and you can have a little reflection upon that. And that's something that you can bring to the interview. So you can say, look, it's been really, really difficult, obviously, as we all know, because of COVID-19, to get that clinical exposure by getting an attachment in a GP practice or a hospital. But what I have done is I've made the most of the resources that are available to me by looking at these consultations that have been provided by the Royal College of GPs, and also looked at the videos by the University of Brighton Medical School. And again, that would be full marks ticks across the board if you can demonstrate that you've actually been really, really proactive in trying to gain that insight into what it's like to be a doctor in the UK. In addition, the other thing that I would recommend, and I will leave a link in the link, I will leave a link in the description below. You can look at the Royal College websites and also look at NHS online as well, and you can look at common conditions such as diabetes or obesity, or if you're looking at mental health conditions such as anxiety or depression on the Royal College of Psychiatry's website. Again, it's really, really useful to look through those conditions and see how they're explained, because in reality, it's explained in really, really simple language, and often you will be explaining those conditions to patients in the exact same manner. So if you can say to the interviewer, you know, once you've obviously done your personal statement and all those bits, if you can say to the interviewer, I've been proactive as well by looking at all these websites and having a little reflection on how you know, conditions are conveyed to patients in a simple manner, and how that's really, really effective moving forward, and especially with providing their care, then again, that's going to be another example where they're just giving you ticks across the board because you're being really, really proactive and trying to do your best within the current situation. So guys, that's it for today's video. If you've got any comments, then by all means, or any suggestions, leave a comment in the comment section. If you like this video and found it useful, please do like and subscribe. Big thumbs up, thanks to my video editor Kaya, she's fantastic. In addition, you know, again, if you guys have got any useful suggestions about what we can call this series about making effective application to medical school, then by all means let me know in the comment section. But until the next video guys, take care, all the best, and I'll see you soon.